Welcome back, guys. Decided to carry on with this, so I sat down and did about 2 hours worth of recording, and well, I sped it up so that you don't have to watch how boring this was. I thought I'd just do a little voiceover so I could talk about a few things. The first thing I want to mention is talking about the fact that I want to add different mods to this. So the mods that I want to add, I think the first mod I'm going to be adding is the sync mod. So I've been working on making it work so I can put mods into it, and yeah, still using 1.6.4. Still debating whether or not to update to 1.7.10. It's about as new as a version as I would be able to go to. So I just see what everyone thinks when people decide to start watching this. So there's a few mods will be taken out as well. I will mention this when the time comes. So one of the ones definitely taken out is stuff like the vending box and trading booths, whatever they are. They're just not going to get used. I think the sounds are quite funny when you listen to them sped up, especially the sheep. They sound like they're squeaking or whatever it is they're doing. Apart from all that, the mods that I might also add is Formcraft. Looking at a few other mods, I would probably create it into a mod pack and upload it onto the Technic launcher itself, and any links will be in the description if that happens, if we switch over to a different mod pack, as well as a different texture pack. Now, I couldn't find a texture pack for something like all the mods for 1.6.4, but I saw a texture pack for 1.7.10, so I'll try and use that, and if it works then we'll be able to carry on using the Slacks texture pack. Otherwise, I think some mods might just not get textured correctly. There was the 1.7.10 pack as well, I think that was the other one I was looking at. I would have to look at it again and mention that at some point. So my goal here was to sort the base out, so that's why I was getting all that wood, because I wanted to turn the base into something pretty. I wanted to I'm looking at the death points and counted them here. I was going to mention that, but I think that's been covered by the previous video. Just Minecraft music even sounds good sped up fast, so just listen for a second. Yeah, I think that it's pretty epic. I'm going to carry on talking over this. This isn't the better one, there's a better one later on that I'm just going to let it play through all the way through, because I think it sounds pretty epic, sped up as well. So I'm sorting the base out here, and I sort the garden out as well. The plan is to expand a little bit more, so I'll be expanding the garden a bit more, probably making a tree farm using Minefactory Reloaded. The next episode after this is going to be mining, so I obviously need to grab some resources, and I don't know whether to speed it up or not. I mean, I'll record and see how long it takes to do everything it takes. If it requires speeding up, then I'll speed up some of the mining aspects, just so you're not completely bored by this series. I also want to mention that I have a mouse now, so none of this stupid stuff is going to happen where I place blocks in the wrong place or I'm awkwardly doing things. I'm going to try and fix recording and the audio syncing up a little bit better as well, So hopefully it starts to get better. I will be working on another series as well after this, in line with this. So there's at least 2 different things that are going to be going on. So people that aren't interested in Minecraft might be interested in something else that I'm working on. So yeah, so expanding the base, making lots of tools apparently. It was just convenient to make more. I think because obviously I've not done any mining, I couldn't make any better tools like sapphire or rubies, or well, I could have made iron tools, I suppose, but I wanted to save the iron. Actually, later on you'll see that I debate making a Certus Quartz pickaxe, and in the end I did make one because I thought it would be cheaper than getting an iron one, as I'm pretty sure the Certus Quartz pickaxe does everything the iron one does. It just doesn't do stuff that the diamond one does. And I think the only reason you need a diamond pickaxe is for obsidian, and I think it's the only reason, because sapphire, ruby, and I want to say emerald, but I think it's peridot. I think the third one is, it's like a green one. So yeah, they're different metals. I'm not entirely sure what mod adds them, but I'll make sure that I have all the mods that I want to have. But working line. So yeah, once the mining's done, after that I'm going to be looking at starting thermal expansion. I don't know if people want to explain to them, but I'm just going to go through and do it. So time, I'll talk about whatever's been done. And well, you'll be able to see whether or not it's explanation or not. It's a pretty old mod, so I don't think people need to know how it's done. Other than that, there's a few other mods I've been looking at. Again, if I add them, I'll mention them and talk about them then. So rather than trying to rack my brain and mention them when the time comes. So here I was expanding the farm again. Don't really know why I didn't think about this thoroughly, because I think I actually went a bit too far with this. I have a big plan for this, and I might do another sped up episode after the next 2 episodes of expanding the base, and by this I mean the front of the base. So I'm probably going to break down some of these walls to the sides and expand it out so that where the base left and right is, there's a bit of space as well. But not only that, but then I'm going to have it so that, oh, I actually start looking at the clay here as well, but yeah, I'm going to have it to be so that the dirt will start from the edge of the base, and it should work out correctly. I mean, it's the water goes down, so that's the case of that. This was a really weird way to grab the clay, and there's probably better ways to do it, but this is the way I did it. It's kind of convenient, but kind of not at the same time. It looks ugly after I've done it as well, and I don't know why I didn't just leave the walls where the walls are, but I find that this is such a better way to do it. I also have no clue what I need clay for either, but at least I know that I've got some now because I found it. Yeah, so I've got the clay, and that was at least something that's done, so it doesn't have to be picked up later, and it's a good thing really. So yeah, I hope that here's where I actually destroy all the wall, and I destroyed the corners. That's fine, I mean, that's acceptable, but I should have left these walls here. Do not ask me why I did this. It really looks ugly. I'll have to sort this out at some point, probably maybe with water buckets, or potentially because I'm going to be extending the base further out, that rather than using water buckets, that the dirt will cover that over. It all just depends on how things look and come out in the end. So that's going to be that done. I think actually I started running out of space in this chest and maybe made another one at some point. I know I did, but I can't remember where. I made more pickaxes again. Don't ask why I was doing all the stone pickaxes, but yeah. Also, while I was expanding the base, I think for convenience for recording, I left the torches up, and it kind of gets awkward at some point, but you know, it's kind of cool. So, you'll see later on that I sort of move them around and make a better situation. I mean, I have this really OCD thing with torches where they have to be in such specific places that I mean, you'll see when I start placing them down that, I mean, here's a part here where I'm getting OCD about it, trying to calculate how close it is to the wall. I think one of the things I do is like 3 spaces away from the wall, something like that. Probably not the most convenient way to put torches, but you know, it's one of those situations where I just like it looking how I like it looking. If you're also wondering about the yellow X's, I don't know what mod adds this, maybe inventory tweaks or something like that, but if you press F7 on the keyboard, you get that little grid of X's, and red X's mean it's dark, and enemy mobs like zombies will spawn anytime basically on that X, so that's anytime that it's there. So even if it's day, it will spawn there because it's too dark. Whereas the yellow X means that they will only spawn at night, meaning there's enough light in the day for them not to spawn at that point, so there's enough light coming from an outside source. So if you had glass, for instance, then the light would come through there and it would be enough light for it not to spawn, but once the night comes, there's not enough light, and it's worth just having it no X's. So it's hard to tell you've got the setting turned on when there's no X's, but basically if you press the button and nothing happens, then you've got enough light. We'll be not using torches forever. I think Greg's lighting's on this. There is redstone lamps and stuff, but that's not one thing we're going to be looking at. It's the power armor we'll be looking at, and that comes with a built-in LED light system, and to be honest, they're my favourite. So there I go again with the torches being exactly 3 away from the wall. You can even see the part where I'm counting them. Yeah, I actually go quite high with this roof, so here's some more music. I have to say, it sounds as good sped up as it does slowed down. I mean, that's some pretty epic music choices. Oh, there's a little bit more, but I'm going to carry on because I don't think you just want to sit here and listen to the sped up music. If you do, maybe we can do something in the future with that. I don't know. It's just pretty epic. I just thought to experience that for the first time. And here's where I run out of space in the inventory at the moment, and I just go ahead and make another chest and store everything, except for I wanted a few things out, and then that was all settled. But at least quite happy with how the base has turned out and how things look. I think I went to get some seeds at this point. Yep, looks like I did. I also picked up some yellow and red flowers. You'll see the red flowers later on. I'm not sure what they're used for. Maybe dye, so to make some different colours of lamps. I don't think I'm going to be using them. I will go back to mentioning the machine use, because one thing I will be taking out is the simply jetpacks or whatever it is. The ones with the potato jetpack and basically thermal. I call them thermal expansion jetpacks. You have to equip them onto your body, and you can't have armor on at the same time, I think. Something like that. Taking them out because basically the power armor is everything. Does all of the flying, and oh yeah, I was adjusting the sound here, and for some reason I quit the game several times, probably just to save the world, so just ignore all that menu and normal speed footage. Decided to try Pumpkinhead on again, and that was quite fun for 5 seconds, as you can see. Don't know why I was opening the map here. I think I was looking for stuff. Found this great mine that I purposely named Shaft for some reason. I think I'd say I was looking for a village, or I was looking for something specific, but I'm not sure exactly what I was looking for. I think I was just exploring and quite enjoying the fact that I was on a little adventure for finding stuff. For some reason my settings had reset, as you know from the changing the music around again. So the What Am I Looking At, or Whaler, had reset, and I was sort of curious why it wasn't showing up the sludge. Also noticed it wasn't showing up water. So basically, you'll see later there's an option within inside Whaler that you can turn on liquids. The downside to this, which you'll see later on, is when you're underwater you can't see what you're looking at. So I think I find some clay again later on, but I can't see it under the water because it just keeps saying I'm looking at water, but you know, the water's on the surface. But it's not a major inconvenience, so that's quite good. I'm getting chased by monsters here, and I find this quite funny. What I actually die by is starvation, sorry. Starved to death. I was being chased by all those monsters, and even that creeper decided to blow up, but the thing I died from was actual starvation. So yeah, that was quite funny. So here's the settings for Whaler that I turn on liquids visible. I think the default button is numpad 0 or insert on the numpad. At least on my keyboard it is anyway. So that opens up the menu, and you can edit all those settings and make it look how you want to look. I think that's quite useful to know. So now you can see that when I look at the water, it says water. Managed to pick up all my stuff. Don't think I missed anything or lost anything this time. Didn't have that much stuff on me. I mean, I was only gathering seeds. So here's the port where I was looking at the clay and thinking, oh, is it clay? But I knew it was clay, but I just couldn't understand why I couldn't see it as clay. Yeah, so managed to die again. That would have been the 10th time, which technically means if I was doing a restart thing, I definitely would have had to have restarted by now, but I die once more. Spoiler, I die once more in this, so that's 11. Hopefully there'll be no more deaths, but knowing me, there will be. It also depends on what mods people want to see. If you want to see atomic science, that's going to cause a lot of deaths, because I don't know how to set that up, and they explode very easily. Apart from that, there'll probably be some silly deaths until we've got machine users power armor set up, which reduces 4 damage, allows you to fly, etc. And yes, I was that hungry that I ate zombie brains. Don't think the crops were ready, and I was getting a bit frustrated by this, and I was very annoyed. I think there's a skeleton in the water, and this is probably one of the reasons why it was fault, because yeah, here you can see that they're sort of falling down and getting stuck in this water, which prevents them from burning in the day as well. So that's another issue with this. I didn't want to die, so I managed to not sacrifice, but managed to save myself on literally 1.5 hearts of damage. Managed to get all the way back towards the door, not near enough, but the skeleton somehow shot me from that far away. I mean, it's hard mode, so the Skelebobs, they very much do shoot you from quite far away, but I didn't lose anything again, as I didn't have much, as said before, so the only thing I needed was the seeds, so that was pretty much the only thing that needed to be picked up was them. I do double check underneath, somehow the Skelebob had despawned as well, so I'm not complaining, but I was a bit confused. Also don't understand why they had done that. I think maybe mobs were spawning on top of the dirt and they were bouncing up and down creating that, so later on I stick some torches down there and that creates a, well, it hopefully stops us from spawning on there. Shouldn't be a problem. Have to find out later on. I may have to wall it off, but I want to, like I said, expand it all. As like I said, this is a lot of base expanding. I mean, this could be sped up even more. I ended up still being 40 minutes long this episode, so I don't know how I'm going to fill all this with 40 minutes worth of absolute nonsense. So, thinking maybe speed it up a bit more, or just leave it as it is. Well, it doesn't matter, does it really? Because it's going to be how it is now, so this is how it's going to be. Yeah, so you'll see how high I actually end up going, and the reason for this is some mods require height, so big reactors requires quite a bit of height, and any sort of thermal expansion stuff and Mine Factory Reloaded stuff might require pipes, same as Buildcraft requires pipes and stuff, so that's going to be useful to have that height up there, because once we can fly and stuff like that, it means we can just get up there quite easily and build upwards as well as, you know, left and right. I mean, you're not restricted. This is the thing I like about mods, is you're not restricted to just one tier. You can open up your roof pretty high. I mean, most people would probably say, well, build stairs. You'll see me, after struggling to destroy this dirt block, you'll see me build some stairs up towards it. I think I go outside to try and find it, but for some reason I completely forget what I was doing. Managed to get all the way up here and build roof or something. Don't know, I don't really know what I was thinking. Yeah, could have destroyed that dirt block, but I just built that instead. And this is what I mean, it starts to look pretty epic from the outside. So, with it looking pretty cool from the outside, I wanted it to look nice inside as well. So, outside with the garden. So, because obviously the wall expands further than the other wall, so I mean, if I do end up doing it, you'll see what I mean by how I wanted it to look. And again, it would be probably footage I'd speed up. So yeah, some more epic music here. Here I am again, messing about with torches. I mean, it's just complete, I don't know what the word is for it, but it's just absolute OCD with torches, just setting them all up, and I destroy them all and even move even further along. So it's, again, it was a bit of a waste of time perfectly getting like this, but it was good for the time being, is what I was doing. So yeah, you'll see why I did this way, and it's kind of pointless because I could have left this here, or I could have built a second tier up. Actually, could have kept this here and had like 2 stories house, but that's really not my style. I mean, I like an open house. I like freedom of being able to go up and down, which will become true soon. So yeah, I had to destroy all this wall. Here again, I go putting torches down after breaking them. Don't remember when I stopped doing this, but getting distracted by some coal as well. Just very interesting to see that I was thinking about mining at the same time as expanding. I think there's some copper later on, as well as earlier on you saw me pick up some other copper, and I think you must have seen me pick up the Certus quartz as well, which I think there was exactly 3 pieces, which was perfect in a sense, but hey, that's just how things go sometimes. So the plans with this base is I'm going to keep it the same dimensions left and right that it is, so that's going to be exactly how it is. May go further backwards in a bit. I think the height is how high it's going to be. I'm not going to go bigger than this. It's pretty nice set up the way I set it up. Once it's all done, you'll see what I mean. It's quite a good look after all. I mean, it's one of the better sort of base designs. Well, I mean, I'm not a good designer. I don't build amazing structures in this game. I mean, that's why I like mods, I think, because I don't get me wrong, I do like being creative, and creativity is fun, but I think my preference in this game is contraptions, if that's even the right thing, because I like to set up all these. I had the quarries from Buildcraft and setting up all the thermal expansion stuff. I think I actually get my first piece of bread here as well. So once the farm is all set up as well, that's food sorted out for a long time. Yeah, got some bread, have some nice bread. Yeah, so once the farm's all set up, then I'll have lots of food. I mean, again, using my factory reloaded, can get the planter and harvester, as well as, I don't know if it's part of my factory reloaded again, but one of the things you can get is something to automatically spawn monsters, using jailer cells or whatever they are. I don't remember what they're called. These Pokeball things, I'm going to call them Pokeballs because that's what they look like in this texture pack, and I think there's a reason for that. Once you put the monsters inside that, you put them inside this other machine, and I think it only requires mob essence, which is basically experience. Now, the easiest way to get that is through Mistcraft. So if we delve into Mistcraft world, and that's something we're going to be looking at once I remember how to do it. I think it's just making a blank book to begin with. Not a blank book, but just a random book. So it's not a blank one. You just make a blank, not a blank world, but you just make a random world, so it predetermines all the factors. Once you've done that, you can start looking for temples. The best page to begin to look for, once we've got power armor as well, is Floating Islands. I think it's called, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically, there's no land, so you can fly around, and the temples are very easy to find. And once you find these temples, you can find better pages, and the page we'll be looking for is mob essence. And basically these pages are modifiers for how the world forms. So when you put them together in the Mistcraft construction stuff, again, maybe episode 5 we'll be looking at mods, and you'll see what I mean when I start. I'll probably build Mistcraft stuff quite early on, because it shouldn't require too much metal, so that's great. We can build that, and we can use a lot of Mistcraft stuff to travel quite early on, so I think that'll be something definitely done. Same as dimensional doors. That's what I went looking for, I remember now. Yeah, because dimensional doors is, again, that's another sort of, it can take you to Mistcraft worlds, so that's another way to get to them. I mean, dimensional doors can take you anywhere, really. I don't think they take you to the Nether, actually. They do take you other places, so that's something to look at. So yeah, so once you get the mob essence page and other correct pages, you can put them together, and basically you create a world with mob essence lakes. I don't think they're endless, but they are practically endless. So what you can do is then put, I think it's buildcraft auto pump, and that will suck out the liquid. And then when you've done that, you use ender chest storage, whatever it's called, ender storage, which has an ender tank. And one of the tanks is actually, well, it's not just one of the tanks, it's from ender storage, and the tank basically allows you to colour it, so you can put different colours onto it. And yeah, I was looking at the lighting here to see what the lighting options there were, so that's where I was looking at. Yeah, once you put the colours onto it, so if you put like a blue dye in the middle, then that's specifically to that one, so no others will link to it. So you could put several different tanks down, and so you could have lava from the Nether with a red dye, you know, all across it. I think there's 3 dyes in total, so you can put like red, blue, red if you wanted, or yellow, green, orange, basically whatever you want. Again, it's having real issues with this block for some reason. Don't know what was going on, it just wouldn't place. So yeah, once you've done that, you can then link it to your base, and I think it works as a chunk loader. I mean, it only requires a small space, so if I've taken all the chunk loaders out and realised that that doesn't work as a chunk loader, then maybe look at putting chunk loaders back in, but it's not essential because it's a world we know, we can just travel to it quite easily and quickly and edit it. And here I go again, I'm doing all my hard work because I didn't realise I was going to expand further back. But yeah, that's one of the good aspects of this craft, is building worlds. So I actually messed up one time when doing this. I tried to build a world with no rain and actually built a world that perpetually rained. It was a open world, so there was no surface, it was just completely open. There was supposed to be no mobs, I think, or something that I put, and I got stuck down there as well. But I set it up all wrong. One of the rarest pages in this craft, there's me messing up more as well, but it's the page that actually allows you to, I can't remember what it's called, but it allows you to infinitely travel to that book while holding the book. So say, for instance, normally when you right click with a book and then click on the travel portal, you go straight to the dimension and the book gets thrown on the floor. And a good way to like section yourself off, and there's even a achievement for it, which I'll look at some point, which is called Call Me Quinn. I don't know who Quinn is, I don't know what reference that is to, some obscure thing, maybe not, maybe someone knows. It's quite funny actually, but basically travel to a Mistcraft dimension without a return book. So one of the ways to, like, if you're playing on a server, get away from the overworld for good, is to open your Mistcraft book in front of a lava pool, travel to that dimension, and the book will get dropped straight into the lava. I can't remember if the books drown in water or get destroyed in water, but that's a feature. Yeah, I think I need more wood here, so I had to place those torches down just in case. So yeah, so doing that would then render you away from the overworld, and no one would be able to get to this world through that book. Alternatively, you can put books on book stands, but they stay there so people can find them. Since this is single player, putting the books on book stands will be no issue. I'll show you. I think there's a glitch. I mean, don't know if it still works. There's another glitch I'm going to talk about here quickly, which is Tree Capitator. I think you might have seen me trying to do it here, but basically you used to be able to hold shift down with Tree Capitator to mine just one block of wood, and if you let go of shift right at the last second or towards the end and carried on mining, you still cut the whole tree down. And I don't know if it's a bug but it must have been a bug, because it's something I always used to remember doing anyway. And they've removed that. It does not work no more. You cannot do it. You hold down shift and start chopping the tree down and then let go, it doesn't register. You can keep cutting and it won't do anything. So looks like they fixed one of my bugs. So they may have fixed this other one. I don't know if it is a bug, but you can put a return book into your inventory and into a backpack, and then travel to a Mistcraft book and you'll get the achievement Call Me Quinn, because technically the game doesn't register you having a return book. The other way I think that works is if you've already been to that world and you put a return book down and then you travel to that world again with the return book, you get the achievement. Again, once the time comes, I'll show you how to do this, and I think Mistcraft is something to look at really early on. So it'll probably be, like I say, episode 5, probably Mistcraft stuff, just getting into that. Because you can find some really interesting stuff, as well as like not different ores, but you could like say, for instance, diamond's rare. Well, you could find a world where diamond isn't rare and it spawns on the surface. So there's just diamond everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but a lot of it. I remember one of my favourite glitches, which is I was looking for pink slimes and I didn't really think about the mob essence thing, and I decided to create a pink slime world. And basically, that, because of the way pink slime works, it's a liquid. I think it's a liquid. I can't remember how this works, but it's a liquid or something. And spawning, the liquid spawns pink slimes, so they will spawn. And loading into this world basically crashes the game because there's too many mobs loading at the same time. It's quite a funny thing that I did, and I'll not be doing that again now that I know that we can get pink slime through mob essence as well. So that will, if it comes to the point where I need pink slime for whatever it is you need it for, then that's another case. There used to be a glitch with one of the backpacks, I'm not sure which one it is, but you used to be able to duplicate items with it. Won't be doing this, it's just pointless. Only reason I ever used to do it was to duplicate the liquid for the big reactor, which is the blue one, which is like cryogenic liquid, which is really, really cold. It's the best liquid for the big reactor, and yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I think this is, again, another issue with Touch, but I think this is coming towards the end now. Probably a couple more minutes, but I'm just going to wrap up talking about big reactors and that, and just say that the base, this is probably done. It's stuck down here again. I may expand it. At the moment, I probably will just leave it done like this. I definitely want to expand the front at some point, but this is how it's going to look, pretty much. So that's that done, and I think that, this is the last thing I do, and I actually managed to get, basically if you have too much cobblestone you can turn it into compressed cobblestone, and I thought I got 8 blocks out, but I didn't. Since I messed up, I decided to do it again, but this time, oh no, I didn't, not yet. This is where I debate making a Certus quartz pick. Didn't at first, made a few stone ones, then I made the Certus quartz one. So when we go mining, we've got something that's not iron. and it was a lifesaver having those apples from the trees, because this was taking a long time to grow. And there's another issue with the actual bit of it not, like, you know, it had been detilled for some reason, so I put the torches down in the corners. Did actually press F7, but you can't see anything on the grass. You can see over there on the grass, but not here, so I assumed that it was okay now, and went back and then made bread, had some bread, and I think I grabbed 8 stacks of cobblestone now and show how to do the correct way of putting them together. And basically you just put them in the 9x9 grid, make the compressed cobblestone. Simple, really. That pretty much wraps it up. I think I did it one more time with a full stack to try and fix the other stack, but it didn't fix it. And that wraps it up, people. So see you next time.